We are just a few days away from the final pay-per-view in the ESPN era of the UFC. Paramount is about to take over. I saw someone there's like a 6-week gap between UFC events, which is fucking shit. But we are ending it with a pretty very fucking solid card. So we have Merab versus Jan, Pantoja versus Joshua Van. I can't wait. Brandon Moreno's back. Henry Cejudo, Jan Błachowicz. We got some pretty decent. Jalen Turner is back. My brother Jalen Turner is back. We have a pretty decent card here. And listen, I'm going to start straight away with the main event because I'm already in your way. Obviously, if you've watched the channel for a while, you know I'm not exactly the biggest Merab Dvalishvili fan. And a massive reason for that is because of this first fight. I hated the way fucking Merab won that fight. I hated what he was doing. I hated his style. I hated the constant takedowns with no damage and not, getting anything going on the feet. I just absolutely hated it. Now, do I feel any better towards Merab's style? I actually don't. I really don't. Like, I won't even lie to people. I won't even sit here and pretend like I'm getting on the Merab bandwagon. I won't. But I will always give this guy respect. But I will never respect the way he fights. I'm sorry, I just won't. I'll give him respect as regards he's the greatest bantamweight ever. But that's purely based off resume, okay? He just isn't that skillful. I'm sorry, he's just not. I know he submitted Sean O'Malley. I don't care. But Petr Yan is way more skillful. He just doesn't have the cardio. Nobody has the fucking cardio to keep up with Merab, unfortunately. And I'm sorry, but this is going to be a clear 50-45, in my opinion. It would be a dream come true, an early Christmas present to see Petr Yan start Merab. I would love nothing more. When I mean nothing more, I mean nothing more. For a while, I was thinking about doing the Yan and Joshua Van kind of upset because I'm like, this is always, this is the last card of the ESPN era. This could be absolutely huge. But the problem is the December cards just never hit. Like, they haven't hit in fucking years. Like, the Błachowicz vs. Tank Live card was pretty mid. The Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington card was kind of mid. It was pretty decent. But the December cards just never really seemed to stack up. And I don't think putting Merab at the top of the bill is going to put any fucking excitement on a card, in my opinion. I respect Merab's the best bantamweight ever. I don't fuck with his style. It's boring as fuck. It's always been boring. Umar's better. I think Umar would beat him in a rematch, I'll be honest with you. I think Merab is boring as fuck. I think he's boring as fuck. I don't get fucking hyped. I'm not hyped for this fight. I hope Petr Yan absolutely starches him. An update just popped up on my screen. I hope Yan absolutely starches him and gets him out of there. Petr Yan has gotten better. I know he looked good against like Figueiredo. He looked good against Song Yadong. He looked good. He's looked good. He's looked pretty decent in his fights. But I don't think it's enough for me to sit here and say, yeah, like this is gonna do enough. It was the easiest fight of Merab's career, the first fight. So that's why I'm kind of thinking, this is just going to be another fight. This is going to be another easy win for Merab. Because his style's so unbearably shit. But it just works so fucking well because of how bad he is. If Merab was actually good, he would lose. Just think about that for a second. If he could actually hold people down and actually get stuff going on the feet, he would lose. But the fact he's able to just constantly spam and be on people from the very first second to the very first last is an incredible achievement in itself. There's no denying that this guy has the best bantamweight resume of all time. He's the greatest bantamweight ever. But he's just not that skillful. He's not that skillful. I'm sorry. He's just not that skillful. And Petr Yan, we all miss you. We all miss bantamweight KOs. We all miss entertaining fights. We all miss it. But you're fucked. You're fighting Merab in his prime. This is his 4th title defense of this year. One thing I absolutely love and will never knock ever is someone being active. So I'm very happy that Merab is active. I love Merab's activity. If all the champions could take from it, the UFC would be in a completely different state. But I'm going to go with Merab Dvalishvili here on this one. I think Petr Yan's chances are slim. I think you need to be Umar level good or you need to have a knockout potential in Sean O'Malley. That's the only way I can kind of see anyone beating Merab, is that Umar's so much more skillful. If he just had 5 more minutes of cardio for round 3, he would have won. But unfortunately, Merab is just so much better. I don't like Merab as champion. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. I don't care that everyone's getting on the Merab bandwagon now. The Coy Sandhagen fight was boring as fuck. I understand he had a good sequence on the feet. He had a good, striking sequence. But man, you just look at every single Merab fight. I'm not going to get hyped from one fucking exchange. I'm not going to do it, bro. Okay, I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to pick Merab Dvalishvili in this one. I think he's simply just an unstoppable force at bantamweight. I don't see Petr Yan really being the guy to be able to get the knockout, to be able to find the shots, to where Merab is in trouble, to where Merab is going to get hurt. I just don't see it. You know, Sean O'Malley wasn't able to find it. Umar hasn't been able to find it. Nobody has been... You know, I know he's been dropped by, like, Marlon Moraes and stuff like that. He is chinny in ways. But I don't think Petr Yan is going to be the one to get this one done. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see Petr Yan striking... As much as I think Jan's striking's elite, I don't see him having the knockout power. Like, Jan's style isn't, you know, one-punch knockout. It's just kind of, like, piece you up on the feet and get you out of there that way. True, just like combinations and slick outputs. Go Merab. I don't think it's an outrageous shout. But yeah, I'm gonna go Merab Dvalishvili on this one. Next up, we have Joshua Van versus Alexandre Pantoja. Pantoja is always a December card merchant, but I was in the midst of picking Joshua Van. I was thinking to myself, Joshua Van might have this one. But then I just remembered he's fighting Pantoja. Joshua Van, as much as he had an absolute war with Brandon Royval, I just don't think you going life and fucking death with Brandon Royval is going to make me pick you against Pantoja, who's beaten that guy and finished him. I'm sorry, it's just not going to help. Yes, I think Joshua Van has every bit of the makings of a champion. Let me just check something. I think Joshua Van is absolutely going to be a future champion. I was going to check to see if his fucking... You know, his birth's there. I think he could be the youngest champion. I didn't flick my mic, yeah. He could be like the second youngest champion in UFC history, or the third youngest I saw. But, man, I'm going to go with Pantoja. I'm going to go with Pantoja via submission as well. I always think betting on a Pantoja submission is always just a complete fucking win. Joshua Van is definitely dangerous. Joshua Van is bringing a level of threat on the feet and a level of pace. I wouldn't even say Pantoja's not even seen before. He's gone life and death with Brandon Moreno. He's gone in there with like the likes of Brandon Royval, who's an absolute dog on the feet. So I think Joshua Van definitely brings a level of athleticism and a level of striking that Pantoja has seen before, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know if he brings anything apart from age and kind of like he's so fresh to where he's just, you know, look at the war he had with Royval. He'll be able to turn around no problem at that age. Pantoja's getting a little bit older, you know what I mean? He's been at the top for like 2.5 years. I personally get excited for Pantoja fights. I must be the only one. He's finishing so many people. The Kai Escura fight, Kai Car France, Brandon Royval. Put a fight of the year on against Brandon Moreno. He had a bit of a shitter with the Brandon Royval rematch. But I think Pantoja is probably maybe one fight away from Demetrius Johnson at this point. For ages, I said to myself, oh, well, no, DJ can't be. Man, DJ was fighting people who were winning the Ultimate Fighter. That was the fucking prize. You got to fight Demetrius Johnson. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, I think the quality speaks a lot more than quantity. So I think Alexandre Pantoja with like one more win or two more wins at Flyweight is going to be up there. You know, maybe Brandon Moreno's in this card. Maybe Moreno might be next for him. It's a really stacked card, so I'm looking forward to it. But I'm going to go with Pantoja via decision. Or sorry, submission. I feel like Pantoja's striking's quite underrated, but he does have like a thing of just going like that and then rushing in, and anyone with a bit of fucking flair to their strikes might be able to catch him. That's where I think Joshua Van could end up landing on Pantoja. Would I bet on it? Absolutely fucking not. I think Pantoja's going to get this one done. I think he's extremely underrated. I just don't think it's a bad shout to say Pantoja's not far off Demetrius Johnson. I'm sorry, I just don't think it's that bad of a shout. Now, if Joshua Van wins, obviously you have to do the rematch. You have to do an immediate rematch. Pantoja's cleared out the division, arguably more than anybody else apart from Merab. But I don't think so, bro. I think Pantoja's experience is going to play a big factor. I think the fact he's literally beaten and fought everybody is going to be a massive, massive factor in this fight. So I'm going to go with Pantoja, and I'm going to think he's going to get this one done via second round submission. I think Van's going to go in there and realise he's quite out of his depth. Brandon Royval is a war kind of style. You know, if he fought like a Brandon Moreno and pieced him up, then maybe I would have had a little bit more leniency towards picking him. But the fact you beat Brandon Royval in a war shows me that you just played right into Brandon Royval's game, which is good that you were able to win. But Pantoja's a different beast. Pantoja's a different animal. So I'm gonna go with Alexandre Pantoja via second round TKO. Man, it's the fucking flyweight card, isn't it? Brandon Moreno versus Tatsuro Taira. I'm going to go with Brandon Moreno. Tatsuro never really kicked on. You know, he's only got one loss in his career, to be fair, which is against Brandon Royval. And I picked Royval to win that fight. But I think Brandon Moreno is still here. You know, he got a really, really fucking impressive win against Amir Albazi in his last fight. I think beating Amir Albazi is one of the best wins that you could have at Flyweight, because I know Amir Albazi isn't exactly, you know, the top entrant on the division as regards he's going to be a champion. You know, a lot of people, including myself, thought he lost to Kaikar France. But that doesn't mean that the win should ever be fucking taken away from Brandon Moreno. I think Moreno is going to be able to just outmaneuver him on the feet. You know, pick away at the body, maybe able to find some shots on the feet within his strikes to where he's going to be able to set up some takedowns. Wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think Brandon Moreno needs to take this to the ground necessarily. I think he's going to be just fine on the feet. I'm going to pick him to... I'll pick him via decision. 3-rounder. It's going to be weird seeing Moreno in a 3-rounder, to be honest, because we never really see him in 3-rounders at all. Tatsuro Taira, he slipped up against Royval. I think Brandon Moreno is kind of better than Royval at this stage of his career. I know he beat him in Mexico. That was quite short notice for Royval, so it was a great win. But I'd pick him to beat him in a rematch, if I'm being honest. I would pick him full camp. I'd pick Brandon Moreno to win. This is a great fight. I think the striking is going to be the big point. I think Brandon Moreno's experience. I love experience. I think experience is so underrated. I think that's going to be a massive factor. Let me see if I can adjust this, actually, because stretch it out a little bit. There we go. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Brandon Moreno on that one. And I'm going to lower this there. Yeah, so I'm going to go with Brandon Moreno on that one. I think he's better. I think he's more slick on the feet. I think he's going to get this one done. Via decision, we'll go to 29-28. Henry Cejudo versus Payton Talbott. Now... I went back and forth on who I'm going to pick in this one, because for a while there I thought Payton Talbott had been exposed. I thought Payton Talbott kind of got fraud checked. But then I was like, you know what? He did just slip up once. Now, I'm actually going to pick Cejudo. Now, Cejudo hasn't won in like 6 years, which is pretty insane. But he did come back and fight Sterling. And he did then fight Merab. That's a massive difference to Payton Talbott. And he has wins, bro. He was a double champ. Like, he is a great fighter. He lost to Song Yadong as well. He had like an eye poke. I don't think Payton Talbott... Now, maybe he'll prove me wrong in this fight. Maybe Payton Talbott will prove me wrong. But I don't know if Payton Talbott is all that good. Very interesting to see this. Very, very fucking interesting. I'm going to go with Cejudo. I feel like I might regret this. Payton Talbott just let me down so bad when he was like a minus 1,200 favourite, where I was just like, Jesus Christ, please redeem yourself. Now, he's got picked up a nice win in his last fight. I can't remember who it was against. But Cejudo didn't exactly look great against Song Yadong. Song Yadong was definitely winning. But again, I just don't know if Payton Talbott is up there with these guys. He looked good. He looks good against like prelim fighters, but apart from that, you know, everyone looks good against prelim fighters. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Cejudo is quite like annoying. I find Cejudo very like irritating sometimes. He has grown on me. Like 2 years ago, I used to be like, if I heard Henry Cejudo's voice, I used to just be like, please shut the fuck up. You're just fucking annoying. But he has gotten better. Payton Talbott, I actually don't know anything about that guy. I'm glad the whole Sean O'Malley comparisons are over, because I think that just fucks your head up when Sean O'Malley's the champ as well, and you're just constantly being compared to the champ. You lose track and stuff like that. So I can understand why Payton Talbott lost, but he did lose very bad, which is really, really fucking shit. But you know what, man? Fuck it. Sometimes you gotta take a leap of faith. And I'm gonna go fucking Henry Cejudo on this one. This card is extremely good, but yeah, I'll go with Henry Cejudo. Jan Błachowicz is back, and he's going to be taking on Bogdan Guskov. I don't really care about this fight, I'll be honest. I'm going to go with Jan Błachowicz. I felt like he kind of got done dirty a little bit against Carlos Ulberg. It was a close fight, but I feel like the way Ulberg fought was a little bit just like, it's not great. Bogdan Guskov, I don't know much about him as regards. I don't think he's heavy-handed. I feel like Jan Błachowicz will just get this one done. I feel like it's one of those ones where he's just like routine victory. Doesn't finish him, gets it done via decision. Feel like he'll be able to just use the strikes and kind of keep at range. Use that crafty vetness to where he's going to keep at range. Maybe Bogdan might be implement grappling. don't think Jan Błachowicz is necessarily tragic on the ground. It is pretty insane that there was a stage maybe 4 years ago. I was genuinely like, holy shit, I don't think anybody beats Jan Błachowicz at light heavyweight. He was like looking so sharp on the feet. He looked extremely good on the ground whenever it got there. Then he fought Glover Teixeira, and I was just like, Jesus. Because I thought that was like a routine win for Błachowicz. I thought he was going to absolutely destroy him. And then he just kind of fell off of it. He kind of fell off. The Jan Błachowicz fall off actually needs to be studied, if I'm being honest. But going to go with Jan Błachowicz on this one. And let's not forget, he did outstrike Israel Adesanya in a very competitive first 2 rounds, and then implemented the grappling in the later rounds. But yeah, I'm going to go with Jan Błachowicz. Grant Dawson versus Manuel Torres. I love this fight. I fucking love this fight. Man, Grant Dawson. Man, I had so much hope for Grant Dawson. Losing to, like, who was it? Bobby Green? So bad. I know that was ages ago, but still. Manuel Torres, I don't think he's all that good. He's a good striker and stuff, to be fair, but I'm going to go with Grant Dawson. I saw your man like Ronaldo Rodriguez getting hyped up so much for the UFC, and I'm just like, I don't give a fuck about Ronaldo Rodriguez. Am I missing something with Ronaldo Rodriguez? Let me know. But I'm going to go with Grant Dawson on this one. I think Grant Dawson is a fucking beast. I think he's got extremely good grappling, extremely good striking, mainly striking. And I think he's going to get the better of Manuel Torres. I don't like the fact he lost to Bobby Green, though. Losing to Bobby Green in, like, any universe is quite, like, worrying. But I'll let it slide. I think Grant Dawson's going to get this one done. Manuel Torres isn't all that. I think he's still got more to show, Grant Dawson, but he still hasn't, he's like 11-1 in the UFC or some shit like that. He hasn't really climbed the rankings the way I was kind of hoping him to. I thought by now we would have been matched up with like a Moicano or Dariush or someone like that, but Grant Dawson, unfortunately, you're still fighting Manuel Torres, but still. Terence McKinney, I'll go with Grant Dawson via first round TKO, by the way. Terence McKinney versus Chris Duncan. I'm going to go with Terence McKinney on this one. What's the odds for this one? So Chris Duncan's a slight favourite. Fuck Chris Duncan. He beat my boy Vucenic. That absolutely fucking broke my heart. Oh my god, I was so fucking sad. I was so fucking sad when Chris Duncan beat Jordan Vucenic. Terence McKinney, I've been watching you since your UFC debut, summer 2021. Unbelievable year for the UFC. But I am going to go with Terence McKinney, okay? I just don't want to pick Chris Duncan. I don't want to pick Chris Duncan simply because of what you did to my boy Vucenic. Vucenic was like my guy for so long outside of the UFC. For the last like 6 years, Vucenic has been my fucking guy. And then Duncan comes along and fucking finishes him. I was just like, this is so fucking wank. But stylistically, this is a barn burner fight. Duncan might be able to use the grappling to get inside, but McKinney's always in an absolute banger. Like, he's got one of the best styles in the UFC. So I think he'll just run in there and just take Duncan's head off, if I'm being honest with you. I'm going to go with Terence McKinney via first round TKO. Interesting to see if Duncan takes it to the ground. Haven't seen much of McKinney on the ground. But I've faith in McKinney's stand-up to where he's just going to be able to find the shots. I don't think Chris Duncan is all that good, if I'm being honest with you. He beat Vucenic and, that's about it. So I'll go with Terence McKinney on that one. I'm going to go with him via first round TKO. This card is fucking sick, by the way, but yeah, we'll go rapid fire predictions for the rest of this. So, Macy Barber versus Karen Silva. So, as we can see here, let me just shit on this a little bit. Who was it? Macy Barber. Was she the one? Erin Blanchfield. Is she the one? Yeah, she's the one who pulled out, like, on the walk or some shit like that in the worst UFC card in, like, history. I'll never forget Erin Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. Worst card ever. Karina Silva, no one cares. Nobody gives a fuck about WMA. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it time and time again. It's bullshit, no one cares. It's fucking boring, and it just takes up slots on a good card. Sorry, that's the truth, but I'll go with Macy Barber on that one. Nazem versus... I'm going to go with Farid Azim. He's fucking sick. Marvin Vettori. He's on the early... Bro, what the fuck are these early prelims? They're absolutely stacked. Absolutely stacked, but... Marvin Vettori versus Bruno Ferreira. Now, if you know, I absolutely fucking love Marvin Vettori. If you watch his channel, you know I'm just a meathead Marvin fan. I absolutely love the fact that this dude just fucking beefs everyone and everything in sight. He just doesn't give a fuck, and I just always respected the fuck out of it. But I think he'll win. I think he'll win. I don't think Bruno Ferreira's all that good. Bruno Ferreira might go in there and just absolutely shut him down, but Vettori's just so inconsistent. That's the thing about Vettori. He's just so inconsistent with his performances. I don't think he has actually a good style. I think he just walks forward and gets hit, which is fucking terrible style, if I'm being honest with you. But maybe he'll implement the grappling to get this one done. So I'm going to go with Marvin Vettori over Bruno Ferreira on that one. He just... Yeah, I'm always going to back Vettori. Now, onto one of my favourite fights of the actual card. Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner is back, and he's fighting Edson Barbosa. I follow Jalen Turner on Instagram. Unfortunately, he doesn't follow me back. So he's got on like a mad spiritual journey, which is cool to see. But I think Jalen Turner just was so good. I remember when he was fighting Dan Hooker, I was like, holy shit, this dude is a fucking beast. And then he just fucking lost. He lost to Dan Hooker. And I remember I said to myself, oh my god, I don't think I can ever bet on you again. Jalen Turner, I'm going to be betting on you. I'm going to bet on you in this fight. Edson Barbosa's washed as fuck. So, Jalen Turner, do not let me down. I want you back in the UFC and I want you at the top. I want you at the absolute top. You were so good. You were so fucking good back in the day. Like, 2.5 years ago, bring back prime Jalen Turner. He was so good. Such slick striking. Had the grappling. Was just a complete fighter. And then he just fucked it up. He lost to Moicano and lost to Hooker, which are two incredible wins if you get them on your resume, but really bad to lose to. So I'm gonna go with Jalen Turner via first round TKO on that one. The range is gonna be too good. And for these fights, I'm gonna go with Ibov, Islam, Antonio Carollo, and Mohamed Nayav. But that's the full card breakdown. Extremely good card. Really like this card. A lot of name value, a lot of star value. Very, very interesting to see. Very, very interesting to see if Merab just continuously holds people down and doesn't give us as fans anything to cheer about. Doesn't give us as fans anything to get excited about his fights because they're just boring as fuck. He just holds people up against the cage. And I don't look forward to seeing Merab fight. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry at all. I don't look forward to seeing Merab fight, okay? He's just boring as fuck. We all want Petr Yan with the belt. We all think Yan's style is just way fucking better. We all just way rather Petr Yan as champion. Like, it's okay to say that you don't like Merab. It's okay. But like, subscribe, all that good shit, and thanks for watching.